Max Wardell from the Overhead Athletic Institute. I just wanted to talk to you guys about something really quick I've been seeing online. A lot of people are debating on the hip mechanics during the loading phase in pitching. And I've seen people say a variety of different things, and a lot of people are saying complex terms that I've never heard of and aren't biomechanical terminology. Lift, load, duck, and I don't know what they're saying. They're saying all sorts of stuff. So I just wanted to talk about a few things and clear up some things for you guys that are confused by this terminology they're using, or potentially even questioning what they're saying, which I am in some cases. So I've seen people say it's hip external rotation, and I've even seen people say it's hip adduction when it's actually hip abduction that's happening in videos. So just want to clear a few things up. When you actually load in the throw, you are loading this way, turning your hips this way, taking up the slack into hip internal rotation on that right leg or that drive leg for a right-handed thrower. So your hips are internally rotating, not externally rotating. What's happening is the pelvis is moving on the femur. So that's relative hip internal rotation. And then your knee points out, not because you're in hip external rotation, but because you're actually in tibial internal rotation. So what happens is you take up all the slack into hip internal rotation on that drive leg, and then your knee goes this way and you rotate internally on the tibia. So tibial internal rotation, hip internal rotation, flexion, and then you're going into abduction as you go down the mound, not adduction. So I see a lot of things done wrong by a lot of people who don't understand osteokinematics and arthrokinematics and how the bones actually move. So I wanted to clear that up today, guys. And then, I wanted to also say, you do go into hip external rotation and you use the external rotators of the hip. You use the glute med, the glute min, the glute max as you move down the mound. So once I'm farther down the mound, then I do go into it. But it's not during the loading phase. When I'm actually going here, I'm actually going into more hip internal rotation and abduction and flexion as I go, and then eventually I'm going into external rotation, extension, and then at the very end I'll go into some hip adduction and then internal rotation again when my leg comes up at the end of the throw. But just wanted to clear that up because I see a lot of people saying it wrong. You're loading this way, you're putting a little bit of stretch on the glutes, which allows you to use them to drive you down the mound. So brings me to another point, guys, which is we use these muscles on the lateral side of our hip predominantly to push us down the mound, not our quadriceps. We do use them a little bit. So it's not a sagittal plane movement. And I see a lot of people doing a lot of sagittal plane exercises, squats, different plyometric style exercises, different deadlifts, not focusing enough on these lateral hips. And we've done a video with a couple exercises on that. I think that's something we want to target more in the future for you guys, just to show you some of the things that we do, because these are the muscles that are going to push you down the mound in combination with the quads and the glute max and things like that. But just wanted to clear that up. Hip internal rotation, because the pelvis is moving on the femur. Not hip external rotation. That would look more like this early in the throw, flying open, and that's not something we want to see in the very beginning of the throw. So just wanted to clear that up, and stay tuned, guys. We're coming out with new videos every Wednesday, so you're not going to want to miss any of those. And we're posting on YouTube every Wednesday, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, multiple days a week with different exercises, stretches, different pieces of information you guys aren't going to want to miss. We got Shoulder Sunday, Martell Monday, and then also Thoracic Thursday, where we'll focus on things in the trunk, thoracic region, mid-low trap, different things like that. So you're not going to want to miss any of that, so make sure you follow us on there and subscribe to us on this channel as well, because we're going to be posting content continuously, guys.